Guys, I reviewed over 20 UK visit visa refusal letters, and this is what I found. It will shock you. If you want to know, stay tuned. So hi guys, welcome once again to my channel. My name is Unexplained. Let me give a disclaimer. I am not an immigration advisor, so do not let this replace professional immigration advice. If you're looking to apply for a UK visit visa, please get an immigration advisor. Yes, I have done the immigration advisory course, the OISC course. I have done the level 1. I have done it twice actually. However, legally, I am not permitted to call myself an immigration advisor until I have passed the exam. So when that time comes and I can, legally get clients, and give advice, I will do that. But for now, I'm only doing this video or sharing this based on experiences of friends, family, and then just information I have read on the internet. So seek professional immigration advice. Don't let this replace it. All right. So guys, it looks like some of the reasons why people are usually refused UK visit visas are very similar. I see some of the reasons that kept repeating itself in other people's situations, and I'm going to go into that. But before I do, let me say that I have 2 detailed videos. I have a video where I did about how you can actually write an invitation letter for, let's say, to invite a friend or a family member over to visit you in the UK. And I also did another video on the documents that you have to submit so that you can get a visit visa. And if you listen well to the video and then you use it as a guide, honestly, you'll not find yourself in these situations. So let me talk about the first issue. So the first issue is a lady. For that one, she shared it with me personally. She's a friend of a friend, and her story was so horrible. So I would say that avoid using agents as much as you can, especially if you can read and write. In this day and age, if you can read and write, you can fill your own UK visit visa application form without any issues. Just know how to read. You don't have to pay somebody. So this is what happened to the girl. I don't want the video to be so long, so I'm just going to summarize. So she wanted to travel to the UK so bad, and somebody recommended this man to him. That as for this man, you just have to pay him your money, you give him your passport, and then you are assured of your visa. You're just going to pay this amount of money. And she did. So she gave the man the passport and maybe any other necessary documents, and then the man was the one who filled the application form, who chose the biometric appointment dates and all of that. And the agreement was that I think even after the whole thing, the passport will be delivered to the man, so that if you get your visa, you pay him the balance, something like that, right? So that's what this lady did. And it was going into months she had not received her passport from this man. The man was avoiding her calls and all of that. So apparently she had been banned. Apparently this agent, so-called agent who came highly recommended, submitted fake documents. I'm not sure whether they were bank statements or whatever. And the UK Home Office, they're not stupid. They found out. And so they gave her a 10-year ban. So she won't be able to travel to the UK for 10 good years. So the man was not able to break the news to her. That's why the man kept saying, oh, tomorrow I'll give it to you. Come see me today, and was avoiding her. So when she started being suspicious that something fishy was going on, she spoke to a couple of people and somebody advised her to do this. So that was the first time I heard this. It's called Subject Access Request, UKVI. So what this means is that you want to know the information that the UKVI has of you. And it's very good, especially for people in her situation, because the man did not want to give her the refusal letter. The UK Home Office, they are very generous, saying they are very kind. Whenever they refuse you a visa, they explain to detail why you were refused. And that goes a long way to help you in your future applications. But this man did not even give the girl the letter. So for the girl to know exactly why she was banned or exactly why the visa was refused. So she didn't even know she had been banned. So when somebody told her about this, and then she did the subject access request UKVI, and then she got to know that she had been banned because this fake document was submitted. She is a university graduate. She's my age mate. She can read and write. I don't know why she trusted this man to do it. If based on your circumstances, you don't meet the requirement, wait till your circumstances change. Don't put yourself in this situation, because remember that these countries, the UK, Australia, Canada, the US, and New Zealand, they are sort of like connected. If you have been banned by UKVI, if you're applying for a visa in any of these countries, it can be a bit tricky, it can be a bit difficult. So be very careful. Do not use these agents. Some of them submit very false documents on your behalf. If you can read and write, do not do that. So for this lady, it was really bad. Using agents who lied, and it got her banned. The second thing that was also very common, it was very common among Ghanaians. Some of the Ghanaian refusal letters that I saw was unexplained large cash deposits or unexplained huge cash deposits. What do I mean? So you know that people say that you have to have money in your account so that the Home Office will give you a visa when you're applying for a visit visa. Yes, you have to have money in your account. But the UK Home Office, once again, they are not stupid. They are going to check the bank statements to detail. They are going to check. And then when they see that you have submitted, let's say 6 months bank statement, let's say from January to June, and your account balance looks good. I mean, let's say you have, equivalent of £10,000 in your account. That's really good, right? However, they see that £8,000 was deposited in your account in May by an unknown account number. You did not explain it in your application. There was no mention of that. They are going to deny you based on that. And it's so common. People just think that once they see money in your account, they'll give it to you. That's not how it works. They want to see the source of the money. And let me read this particular refusal letter to you. So this one is for a friend's friend's sister. Okay, so my friend's sister, she said she was earning a certain amount of money, yet the bank statement she submitted did not show them that amount of money in her bank account, so they did not believe her. So this is it. It says that, I note that from the information provided, I have been unable to establish the receipt of your stated monthly income, which casts doubt as to whether you are employed with your stated employer and whether the declarations made in your visa application form are a reliable reflection of your current circumstances in your country of residence. Furthermore, you also state that you spend a monthly income of 550 Ghana cedis. However, the information provided does not demonstrate how you are in receipt of any income to cover the cost of your living or monthly expenditure. As such, I am not satisfied that you have provided reliable portrayal of your current or personal circumstance, nor satisfied that your intentions to visit the UK are as stated and that you will leave at the end of your visit. This is one example. So guys, when it comes to the money, they want to see like a trail. So let's say you're working for Parliament House of Ghana. They want to see Parliament House of Ghana deposit money in your account every single month, and that would give them an idea of where the money is from. If let's say along the line you got an inheritance of, let's say, $10,000 and that money was deposited in your account, you are supposed to add a cover letter to explain in the application form that, oh, you see that there was this amount deposited and this money is as a result of an inheritance I got from my grandfather at his. Then you can even ask a part of the will, and you can even add, let's say, any proof that you inherited the amount of money or it was a gift from your father. Maybe your father would add a letter to say that yes, this was a gift or something like that. But if you just let somebody put in the account that, oh, after 6 months I'll apply for a UK visa and I'll withdraw and give you back your money, they will catch you and it will be denied. So please, that is the second major thing. Unexplained cash deposits, it's a trigger. It would let them deny you the visa. The third thing I'll say is another reason that was very popular in the refusal letters I read is too little income compared to how much you are coming to spend in the UK. So whenever you are filling a UK visit visa application form, they're going to ask you how much you intend to spend on your trip or how much you think your trip will cost. So when they ask you this question, they want to know how much it's going to be, your flights in and out. And then if you say you're coming to spend 3 months or 3 weeks, how much you think you need. And when they do this, and let's say you write £2,000 there, and then let's say in Ghana, you earn an equivalent of £50 every month, and you claim you are sponsoring yourself, they are going to say that there is no way you are spending this huge amount when you only earn this amount of money. Even if your account balance can, justify why, if you earn that amount of money, they'll think no reasonable person will spend 100 times their monthly income on a 3-week trip. And let me read an example in this particular refusal letter. So this one, they state that you state that you are employed on a monthly income of 4,000 Ghana cedis. You state you spend 1,500 Ghana cedi every month, which is equivalent to £180 at that time, right, on living costs, which leaves you a disposable income of 2,500. You have indicated that your intended trip to the UK will cost you personally £2,138, which represents over 7 times your disposable income. This degree of expenditure appears disproportionate to your current economic circumstance, leading me to doubt your intentions in seeking to visit the UK for the limited period and the purpose stated. So they are saying that there's no way you spend 10 times your monthly salary for 2 weeks. You are probably coming here to stay forever, and that's what they don't like. They don't want you to be a burden on the system. So that's another major reason. I've also spoken about false bank statements and false statements in general. So the UK Home Office, they are not stupid. They can actually call to verify, and if you're not lucky, such false statements can actually lead to a ban, like the first example that I made. And these were some of the examples I found online. Lots of people use false statements and then they were caught, and then because of that, and that is even worse. Another one is lying on your application, especially with regards to criminal convictions, etc. So there's this other one, this refusal letter that I read. This one, I don't know the person. I read it from the internet. And when you read it, at the latter part of the visa application form, you are always asked whether you've ever engaged in terrorist activity, you've ever been convicted of a crime, you've ever been this, that. You have to speak the truth. It's better to speak the truth and then explain later. You always have to explain. Let's say you were sent to court because you hit somebody's car, right? Answer yes. Whether you have ever been sent to court or you have ever, answer yes to that question that applies to you. And then at the end of the application, if you're not able to explain at the bottom part, the last part, you can attach a cover letter and explain to detail that it was an accident and blah, blah, blah. And you've learned your lesson and you were just fined. You were not sent to prison. So explain. You understand? It's better to do that. So let me read this one to you. They said, question 38 of the application, which asks you if you have any criminal convictions in any country, including spent and unspent convictions and traffic offenses, in which you answered no. However, Home Office records can confirm that on 17th of September 2010, you were convicted of an offense at Reading and Sonny Magistrates Court. You were served with conditional discharge for 12 months and charged £85. You have failed to disclose this material fact. This not only undermines the credibility of your application as a whole, but causes me to doubt your intention in proposing to travel to the UK. So avoid telling lies. I tell you that don't lie about previous visa refusals. Even if it was 30 years ago, don't lie about it. And even if it's not the UK, have you ever been refused a visa to any country? If yes, write yes. They'll give you more space to explain. And for me, because I've been refused a visa to America before, when I get to that part, I always have to say yes. And I always have to explain that, well, an application for a visit visa to the United States of America was refused. And they'll ask me to explain why. I'll say, well, they say that I could not prove that when I go, I will not come back, you know? So I didn't have enough ties to my home country. So I didn't kill anybody. I was just denied. You can't be denied. And I always stated there. In fact, sometimes I even add the refusal letter in my application so that they will see that, yes, do not lie. So lying was another factor that got a lot of people's visa denied. Another thing that I realized is not properly explaining your personal circumstance. So let me say that there are about 3 or 4 main things that the UK Home Office, they want you to prove. And once you're able to prove that, there's no way they won't give you your visa. 1, they want to know the reason why you're coming in the first place. Are you coming to visit a family? Are you coming to visit a friend? Are you coming for business? Are you coming to write an exam? What exit are you that you're coming to do? They just want you to prove the reason and prove it to the last detail that there's no doubt. The second thing is that they want you to prove that when you come, you go back. How do you prove that? You're proving to show that you have something better to do in your home country that you go back to. You have children, you have left, you have a husband, you have left, you have school to go back to, you have your business to go back to, you have your properties to go back to. Prove that when you come, you go back. You have a fat bank account that you go back to. Something like that. And they also want to know that when you come, you'll be able to take care of yourself. It's not like when you come there, you're now coming to claim asylum. You'll be a burden on the system. They want to know that you have enough funds to take care of yourself. And usually, if you're able to explain that back home in your home country where you're applying from, over there you are comfortable, you're explaining your personal circumstances well, that also gives them an opinion that, okay, then when you come, you'll take care of yourself as well. Let me give an example of such letters. So in this particular refusal letter, it says, you have stated that you spend ... per month. You have also stated that this visit will personally cost you about £1,500. You further stated that you don't have any other income or savings. I note your application does not demonstrate the source of this money. Additionally, it does not demonstrate how you are able to maintain yourself in your country of residence. Having carefully considered your personal and economic circumstances, I am not satisfied that your financial circumstances and your overall economic ties to your home country are such that it represents a strong reason for you to leave the UK after the limited period as stated by you. So they are saying that it's like you are not financially okay back home. So it's most likely when you come here, you are going to try to find a job and work and you become a burden on the system. They don't want that. So as much as possible, try to explain your circumstances well. For example, there's another refusal letter I read, and this was from a friend, and it was her sister who was denied. And her sister said she works in Ghana. Let's say she works as a nurse in Ghana. And then she applied for the visa and she was denied. And it was the same situation. The caseworker said that you claim you're a nurse. You claim you work for, let's say, Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. However, when I check your payslip, I'm not seeing any deposits from Kofanochi Teaching Hospital. I'm seeing that you have money in your account, right? But still, I'm not satisfied that you've really explained your personal circumstance and your financial situation back in your country. Explain to them your financial situation back home. Let them know. And another thing that I realized is people who are not able to prove their relationship with their sponsor, that one as well, it led to a lot of refusals. Let me read this letter to you. It says that you have declared on your application that you are visiting your aunt. I know the supporting documents you have provided do not demonstrate any relationship between you and your sponsor, nor do they show that you have ever met your sponsor. I am not satisfied that you have a genuine personal relationship with your sponsor. So they want to know that, do you really know the sponsor? You know, and instead of them to call the sponsor, they did not even call the sponsor. But sometimes they do call the sponsor to verify. If that happens, lucky for you. But when they do not call the sponsor, they're expecting you to submit enough documents to prove your relationship. And I always say this, I know that sometimes you read on their website that don't submit photos and all of that. But if that is all you have to prove your relationship with your sponsor, then submit. And I always say that you will not be penalized for sending so many documents. However, when you are not able to submit enough documents to support your application, you can be denied. So bombard them with as many documents as possible that proves what you have written in your application. You wrote that your auntie is the one sponsoring you, right? And this person is your auntie. So you can explain that this person is my mom's younger sister. So for instance, for me, when I invited my little sister to come here some years back, right? She was my sister, so it was very easy to prove. I used WhatsApp chats, old WhatsApp chats from, let's say, 2016, 2017. I used photos of her and myself at my wedding. I sent old pictures I had visited her in school when she was much younger. And I submitted our birth certificates. Our parents' names are the same. So what way? Let's say it is your employer who is sponsoring you. How can you prove your relationship with your employer? Maybe your offer letter when you got the job, maybe pictures you've taken at employment conferences and all of that, or something, anything that you can use to prove as well. So anything that it can even be, for me and my sister as well, I even submitted transfer receipt. Whenever I send her the receipt, let's say if you're using Lemfi will send you a receipt that your money has reached so and so. Some of those receipts as far back as, let's say, 3 years ago, I kept them and then we submitted some of them to prove our relationship, that it has been ongoing. It's not like I'm now discovering her to bring her to the UK. So not proving your relationship with your sponsor is a great deal. So do well to be able to submit enough documents to prove your relationship with whoever. It can be a friend, a friend that you went to school with. How do you prove this? You can get somebody else to write a letter and then, sign that it's true, you people are friends, or old pictures or old conversations, or maybe certificates of you both when you completed school that you completed the same year, or anything that you can think of to prove your relationship, because that's another reason I found that was quite common. The next thing I'll say is that the UK Home Office not being able to prove that what you said is right. So for this refusal letter that I read from the internet, the person claimed that they were working for this company and the Home Office tried to call the company, but the company did not answer. So they thought, then probably is a lie, or maybe this person is not even working. Sometimes it cannot be your fault. Sometimes maybe your employer, maybe the UK Home Office has called them, but they are not responding. Your bank, the UK Home Office is calling them, but it's not even going through. All of those things can also affect you. Let me read the exact letter for you. So this one, in support of your application, you have submitted an employment letter from the Dash and Facial Massage, which indicates that you are employed by them at a salary of dash per month, and that you have been granted leave of absence for your proposed trip to the UK. On 19th of June 2017 and 20th of June 2017, numerous telephone calls were made by a Thai member of staff to your claimed employer in order to verify your employment. However, it was not possible to contact them. So maybe the number was even fake. So that is it. And another thing that is major is not explaining yourself very well. Let me show you a trick. There is a box at the end of the application where they say any additional information. Write everything there. So when you are filling the form, you say, this one, I don't have enough evidence. Maybe they might doubt me and this one can lead them to refuse me. Explain it in that box. That box takes about 500 words or so, I'm not sure. But if that box is not able to capture all you want to say, make it a cover letter and submit it. Sign date and submit the cover letter and explain. Let me give you an example. So when my husband was coming to visit me before we got married, this was about in 2019, he came to the UK to visit me on a visit visa. In his bank statement, there was a time that there was a huge cash deposit, right? And he knew that the UK Home Office will find that very suspicious. So at the end of the page, he explained. He said that on this date, I can see that you notice that there's a cash deposit of so and so Ghana cedis. This is because in October of what, I lent the money to a friend. So what happened was my husband had actually taken money to help a friend, and some months later, the person paid back. So he explained that this was not any unexplained cash, but it was money that somebody loaned from him or somebody borrowed from him, and the person returned it back on that day. So if they check the other bank statement on this day, they'll realize that he withdrew close to that same amount and put it back some months later. So he explained this, so they were not based on that to deny him. Let me give another example. But that one, it wasn't a visit visa, but it was the same UK visa, right? Or same UK visa application. When I was applying for citizenship for my son, they said that I need reference from his doctor or his social worker or his teacher, all of that. I contacted these people. They said they won't give any reference. So I used my own friend as reference, who knows my son and knows me. But I knew that could also mean I'm telling lies, because I didn't use the people that they gave in the example of people who can act as reference. So I wrote at that same box, almost all UK visa application, different all the types, they have that box there. So I wrote in that box that I contacted the GPs. They said they no longer serve as references. It's no longer in their policy. I contacted this person and I stated included the date and the time that I called the GP. In that box, they said they can't give me. And I did this. Therefore, a colleague, a registered nurse who also knows my son and knows me, is the one who has been used. My son is now a citizen. My son has his passport now. Be honest and explain. So if there's any part of your application that you think is a bit hazy, is not clear, use that box to explain yourself to detail. And if that box is not enough because your situation is very complicated, write a cover letter to explain and give evidences of your explanation. I just did not say the GP refused. I gave the date, the time, and the person I spoke to. I asked your name so that if they want to go back, I'm acting like a lawyer. They'll know that, oh yes, this person actually did that. So guys, basically this is it. Like I said, there are about 3 or 4 main things that you have to prove to the UK Home Office to get a visit visa. Proof that your own personal circumstance back in your home country is okay, that when you come to visit the UK, you go back. Proof that you have enough money to maintain yourself and the people you are coming with when you come, or you have somebody sponsoring you. Proof that when you come, you go back. Proof the main reason why you want to visit. Proof this with concrete evidences. And the last one is previous overstay or previous increase in the length of your stay. If you've ever visited the UK and then let's say you overstayed, when you are making another application, please do also explain why you overstayed or why this happened, so that they don't think that it's a habit. Because another thing is that they don't want you to use UK to become your home through successive visits, and this is boldly written on their website. Somebody will come on a visit visa and spend 8 months, go back and come and spend 2 months. You spent 10 months in a year in the UK. When you claim you are working in your home country, that's not true. That means you're trying to make UK your home through successive visits, and they don't want that as well. So if you came and then you overstayed, explain why. Did you fall sick? Did something happen? Explain why. So thank you so much. If you got any value at all from this video, please give this video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. After all this information that I have researched and brought to you, if you do not subscribe, just know that you're a criminal. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.